The last paragraph of the passage performs which of the following functions? Now, if you have read the passage and understood it well, and we put the last paragraph into perspective with the rest of the passage, we find that it goes in a different way. Most of the passage is about evidence to support the theory given by Snyder, Dully, and Bruns. Even in the second paragraph, where an older theory is proposed, we are given information about how and on what points Snyder and the others they have digressed, or they have differed in opinion with the older theory. The last paragraph gives us some evidence against the theories proposed by Snyder and the group. There were some apparent exceptions to the general correlation observed between adenosine receptor binding and stimulation. So basically, this is evidence against Snyder and his group's theory. Now let's look at the options. Option A says, describes a disconfirming experimental result and reports the explanation given by Snyder et al. In an attempt to reconcile this result with their theory. This is perfect. It can be confirmed in two parts. Describes a disconfirming experimental result. Disconfirming. Confirming is something that would support the evidence or give supporting evidence. Disconfirming would be something that goes against the correlation or gives evidence against the correlation. Exactly what we see in the first line. There were some apparent exceptions to the general correlation observed between adenosine receptor binding and stimulation. So the first part is confirmed. The second part says, reports the explanation given by Snyder et al. In an attempt to reconcile this result with their theory. And that's what we see in the second line here. Snyder et al. Suggest that this is not a major stumbling block to their hypothesis. The problem is that the compound has mixed effects in the brain and not unusual occurrence with psychoactive drugs. Even caffeine, which is generally known for its stimulatory effects, displays this property, depressing mouse locomotion at very low concentrations and stimulating it at higher ones. So we find that Snyder and his group, they give explanations towards reconciling this result with their theory, say that this is something which is a commonly experienced aspect. So A is quite valid. A mirrors exactly the structure of the last paragraph and how it correlates to the rest of the passage. So A can be qualified. Option B says, specifies the basis of the correlation observed by Snyder et al. And presents an explanation in an attempt to make the correlation consistent. We don't need to check any further. We see that this is definitely incorrect. Specifies the basis of the correlation observed by Snyder et al. Presents an explanation in an attempt to make the correlation consistent. Rather, it presents exceptions to the correlation observed by Snyder and his group. So we cannot say that this is the basis for the correlation. Incorrect. This is contradictory to the given information. B can be eliminated. Option C tells us, elaborates the description of the correlation observed by Snyder et al. Again, the same aspect, the same as B, the same point of elimination. The description elaborates the description. No, it gives an explanation. It doesn't elaborate or further explain the description of the correlation. It gives evidence against it. So C can be eliminated. Option D says, provides an example of the hypothesis proposed by Snyder et al. The same issue as B and C. This says that the last paragraph, the fourth paragraph, gives evidence towards supporting the hypothesis proposed by Snyder and all, but that is not the case. This paragraph gives evidence against it. So D can be eliminated. The correct answer is option A.